creatures and gods around. Beware, prepare, it's dangerous. They'll linger in the dark. Climb from below. Temples and tombs will fall down. Explore the realms. What is meant to be, take it all. Obey, hear the voice of God. And a best come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies. Across the vast wild desert, move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and shove it off your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
Hey, to have peace, yes, Lord, there must be strife. I already see the end of life. I accepted death, my eyes are open. I read and told them there's a light. Eternal life awaits me, yes. No one can dare deny me. I'll gladly give my life for my people. Can my kingdom point the way? That's a small price to pay. To God to pray every day. To the promised land, I understand the higher, the highest height. And the lower, the lowest depths. I'm not afraid of my last breath. Life is nothing but a test. May the gods only know what's next.
Alarms, hear the voice of God, and the best come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies. Across the vast wild desert, move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and shove it off your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
My eyes are open, eternal morning. The crown is golden, I have been chosen. My eyes are open, eternal morning. The crown is golden, I have been chosen.
Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies. Across the vast wild desert, move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and shove it off your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind. Wake up, sundown, creatures and gods around. Beware, prepare, it's dangerous. They'll linger in the dark. Climb from below. Temples and tombs will fall down. Explore the realms. What is meant to be, take it all. Obey, hear the voice of God, and the best come to your sacred land. Make way to the afterlife. What was once your palace, now your grave. Awaken your soul, dive and devour the Red Sea. Take control and drown the enemies. Across the vast wild desert, move your feet along to the rhythm of the sand. Rise and shove it off your spear. Aim your bow, make them bow down in fear. Chaos and new beginnings. Find your destiny in the magic and the omen of the mind.
Hey, to have peace, yes, Lord, there must be strife. I already see the end of life. I accepted death, my eyes are open. I read and told them there's a light. Eternal life awaits me, yes. No one can dare deny me. I'll gladly give my life for my people. Can my kingdom point the way? That's a small price to pay. To God to pray every day. To the promised land, I understand the higher, the highest height. And the lower, the lowest depths. I'm not afraid of my last breath. Life is nothing but a test. May the gods only know what's next.
Alarms,
What is going on, Governors? Chiscool here, and today we're casting Ark of Osiris League in the realm of Horus. And I've got an exciting matchup for you that I think could be a close one. It's iNSL versus 93P. Now, if you like Ark of Osiris League gameplay, then consider subscribing to the channel and throwing a like on the stream, because we're casting not one, not two, not three, but 4 matches simultaneously. Now, there's a part of the reason that we're doing this is that now there is fog in Ark of Osiris gameplay, and you can't spectate every match, because if you could know things that the people playing the match couldn't actually know. So today's stream is on a bit of a delay. That delay is designed to make it so that it doesn't mess with the competitive integrity of the gameplay, but also lets you all watch the matches. So watching on YouTube is the way that you can see exactly what's happening in each of the matches that's being covered. So today we are diving in to that iNSL versus 93P matchup. Let me just show you really quickly some stats that we can get a peek at. So we are on the right side of the round of 16 for the realm of Horus. And we're all the way in the bottom right, iNSL versus 93P. Let's start by breaking down a little bit of iNSL, the infamous Sith Lords. This team has 3.5 billion power, and they have won the last 3 matches leading up to this moment, but they were close wins. They won by a couple thousand, 5,000, a couple thousand again in the 3 matches in the playoffs leading up to this point. So they have been doing a lot of winning, but it has been close. Their average score is 53,000 points, and they've got 8 wins, 0 losses. On the right-hand side of the bracket, the Trash Pandas from 1093. Now, this should make you pause, and probably you're familiar with 1093, one of the top Imperiums and Rise of Kingdoms. And they are sitting at a 7-win, 1-loss ratio, so they have lost. They lost to 84OF, and they won versus LN93, and NE53 was a no-show. So this gave 93P and advanced to the next round, averaging 69,778 points per game over this season of Ark of Osiris League. Now, with that said, which of these 2 teams will win? It's very hard to say. The iNSL team has always won up to this point, but those were close wins. And maybe that was just intentional that the matches were so close, but it could be that 93P could pull a win in this particular round. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see this matchup unfold. And there are many other matches being cast throughout the day. If we get a look at the qualifiers section, we can see here that the infamous Sith Lords were battling in the single elimination rounds, beating 70 HB, and also Akan. So to get to this point, they've had a number of strong wins before they had the series of close matches that led to this moment. So we can jump back into the schedule here and get a look at the playoff rounds. So whoever wins this matchup will be fighting against either E301, the Cosmic Hunters, sitting at 3.7 billion power, or they will fight against 93T at 3 billion power. This, by the way, means that it is possible that 93P ends up fighting 93T in the next round, which would certainly be funny. The only loss that has been served up to 93T up to this point is JST, a team that has actually won Ark of Osiris League overall. So I think today's matchup is going to be exciting with iNSL and 93P. And in just a moment, we'll be jumping into the matchup. So again, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel and throwing a like on the stream to support the action today, and tell a friend that we are live, baby, showcasing Ark of Osiris League goodness on the official Rise of Kingdoms channel. Very hype. So in just a moment, we'll be able to enter into the game. Once I'm into the game, I'll switch the screen to show it to you. And the other matches being covered, by the way, includes 1V versus 93L, 1718 versus 16OT, and DQ39 versus Sin 7. So if you want to check out any of those other matches, by this point, there's already a link that has been in the chat, and you can jump around if you'd like to. All right, now I'm able to enter in to watch, and in just a moment, I'll bring you into the match with me to showcase iNSL in blue versus 93 Trash Pandas in red. Okay, here we go. Entering into the match, getting everything set up for the stream, and we'll be ready in just a second. All right. Here we are. Now we jump in to the match. So you can see that 60% of people think the team in blue is going to win. 40% of people think that the Trash Pandas in red are going to win. Now, there's a lot that's interesting about the way the betting works. People just vote for teams that they perceive to be stronger, but often there's incomplete information. So, yeah, the team in blue has more power, and they did win 8 of their matches, every single one of them. But the team in red has 5 KVK victories under their belt, whereas the team in blue has none. So, you know, is that an indicator of the level of strength and coordination of these players? It's very hard to say. Only after they get into the match and we see the choices they make will we really be able to know what that looks like. So the match begins here in just a minute, and the action will unfold. What happens initially? Well, they're going to run to their obelisks, and they're going to, I think, push through the Shrines of War into the Desert Altar. That is typically how it goes. Now, I would love to see an alternate strategy, and the visual ranges of these teams could influence what they do. Right now, I've got the visual range of both teams, but what each team sees depends on where their marches are on the map. So how this goes and what surprises may unfold depends a lot on how these teams take advantage of the lack of information you have due to the vision that is available. In 5 seconds, the gates open, and here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. Battle begins. Folks are on their way out toward the obelisks and outposts. As a reminder, the outposts now give visual range and vision of the Ark. So as of right now, neither team has vision to the Temple of Osiris, but we'll notice that change, I believe, when the outposts are captured. So let's see how that goes. Sentry being placed next to the Shrine of War. So the team in blue looking to get vision on what's coming in to their desert altar. If the team in red, the Trash Pandas, use vision, aha. I thought, did I miss it? Let's see where it lands. All the way on the left side of the map. A very similar play. So both teams are interested in what's coming through the Shrine of War and toward my altar. Now, folks have gone in and are starting to capture the outposts. Looks like we don't yet have vision of the Ark because it hasn't spawned in, perhaps. Even though this has been captured, the temple, or rather the outpost of Seth, and also the outpost over here, another outpost of Seth. Obelisks are starting to cap both sides, then moving their troops forward. We're going to turn Simplify Graphics off. I'm very curious to see what this march is going to do. If Ghost Miracle can actually pull a miracle moving downfield, we'll see what they're able to accomplish here. Boom, both obelisks now captured. All of the obelisks captured. The only thing that's missing is outposts, 2 for the team in blue, 1 for the team in red. So, we're now following Ghost Miracle. They are on their way. Now, they don't realize that all these marches are coming through. But I'm sure they have a sense that they might be heading that way. So let's see where Ghost Miracle ultimately goes. This pathing actually is going to end up being really bad for Ghost Miracle. I wonder if they're trying to intentionally reset their march by charging forward, because these guys are about to collide. They just don't realize it. So now they've entered into each other's visual ranges, and it's a little surprising because we've seen some successful maneuvers going for the obelisk in the past. Speaking of which, the team in red is targeting the obelisk. They are perhaps going to go for an obelisk capture here, and I think they might be able to pull this off. This is a big play going on right now. Oh, this is actually very exciting. Rally is in from 93P, working their way downfield toward the obelisk. An obelisk capture could be devastating. Why go for the desert altar, which is a small number of points, when you could go for the throat? End the match before it's even had an opportunity to truly begin. This is the strategy of 93P, the Trash Pandas, moving in for an all-in play on the obelisk. The team in blue, iNSL, preparing to defend. Even some T1 troops here to do, well, whatever it is that Tier 1 troops will be able to do. Tier 5's now in, swarming. Flavius Garrison. iNSL is prepared. Maybe. I say maybe because how prepared can you really be for an obelisk assault at the start of the matchup? Here comes the team. Downfield. 93P. Looking to swarm. However, this garrison is very, very, very healthy. I think iNSL has done a very strong job here defending this particular obelisk. They're bringing more troops to support it. There is a little bit of tussle at the desert altar, but these folks, these marches are just too slow to really be effective all the way up here at the obelisk. So we've got 93P really splitting their forces here. But even if they can capture this for a minute or a second, it will disrupt the capture timer, which has 30 seconds over here. So can they get the capture in the next 25 seconds? I think the answer is no. I think there's just not enough punching power here for 93P. A really noble effort, a very fun play, but a great defense ultimately by iNSL. So in 11 seconds, folks are going to teleport in, reinforcements making their way into the obelisk, securing this thing such that I don't think there is enough punch here to flip the obelisk. Really exciting gameplay right at the start of this matchup. I always love to see stuff that you don't expect, and I feel like that was unexpected. Meanwhile, we look over here, and there is yet another rally. So both obelisks being pressured by 93, iNSL on the defense, but I wouldn't say on the back foot. In fact, they're all the way downfield capturing outposts. So good gameplay here by both teams. The offensive play and counterplay, fun to watch. Buildings all flipping now. Boom, 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 boom. The only thing not flipping is the shrines, which is a little bit funny. Waking up down in the south, they capture the shrine, and in the north, they capture the shrine. These shrines now offer 5% health and march speed, but can we marvel for a moment at the fact that somehow 93P not only pressured the obelisks, but they've managed to capture all 4 desert altars. How did they get the 2 desert altars and the 2 sky altars? Hello? 93P, remember, they are the underdog by virtue of power and also by virtue of votes. So the fact that they just took both sides of altars is a big deal. This opener from 93P is impressive. Wow. I mean, this is some hype. They've also, of course, got the Shrine of War. It just seems like small potatoes compared to the 4 altars they claimed. Is there even pressure? Is this just free? Desert altar free? Sky altar is free? They're bringing reinforcements up to this desert altar, and they're bringing reinforcements up to this sky altar? Wow. Can we get some hype in the chat for the 93P altar offensive? 4 times the altars is 4 times the fun. Okay. Let's go. Looks like iNSL stabilizing a little bit by reclaiming their Shrine of War, But even this is far from stable. This matchup, kicking off with excitement. Even the planned garrison captain in on the swarm. And look, I mean, you got to swarm with what you have. It's better to take the building than not take the building and have a full health garrison captain, right? Like, you commit what you can to make the capture. That's what I'm trying to say. Even though this does expose the garrison captain to getting swarmed out, it looks like INSL is really struggling at the start of this match, quite frankly. They really are struggling to find their rhythm and find some stability in what's happening. They do get the Desert Altar, but now the Ark is going to spawn in just a matter of minutes. 4 minutes till Ark spawn. So this is a truly incredible opener for a 93p. Granted, it looks like they may not have got the first capture points on this Desert Altar. They should very soon be getting the first capture points on 3 of the altars. So not quite as terrifying as the initial opener was. This is still a very great outcome for 93p. It gives them a little bit of buffer. Here comes those initial capture points. And they have a 3,400 point score, 3,800 point score to the 1,350 of the team in blue. So that is a commanding 2,500 point lead. So now the question becomes, how much longer can they hold on to this Sky Altar? They're bringing in more troops. They do not have a proper captain. They're just kind of doing what they can. Blue is ready to bring their captain into the garrison. iNSL is like, guys, I'm here. I'm the captain. Can you please take the garrison back so that I can captain the darn thing? And you can see 93p is very correctly focusing down that captain to try to reduce their health and make them less effective when they do get in the garrison. But they do finally get there. So now the map is evening up-ish. There are still a couple outposts over here that blue has managed to capture. Now we make our way to the Temple of Osiris. Three minutes till the action at the Temple of Osiris. Looks like 93p has the numbers, and they're using those numbers to press forward. 93p also has vision. Let me show you what I mean. Here is the visual range of 93. You see, they've got a sentry down. So 93 has a lot of information. They know that they outnumber these guys. So they know that if they push now, iNSL's in trouble. Uh-oh! Wait, what is this decision? Mass teleport effect going on, but they're just going right over here. So they're using this effect just to buff their troops, I think. An interesting play. Not one we've seen before. Okay, but is it good enough? Let's switch to the visual range of both teams and find out. I feel like maybe they meant for these troops to go to the other side of this cavern. I don't know. Did they mean for the troops to go to the other side of the canyon? Is this a misclick? I'm really confused. I feel like we've got a misclick situation going on here. I really do. I genuinely think we've got a misclick situation. We see we've got a garrison captain in here. Dido is here. I feel like we've got a huge fat finger situation on our hands. And iNSL is really getting punished for that misclick. I don't think they meant to do that. Given that they're all running away and there's a garrison captain here, I think this is actually a huge L that they're taking. And I genuinely think they did a misclick. Looks like whoever did that either had something happen such that they misclicked or needs to spend a little more time in a practice match learning how the ability works. Ay. Well. Chat. That is really rough. It looks like they might have intended to take the obelisk, which I love that play. Man, can you imagine if they actually clicked the obelisk? What a cool play that would have been. They took this obelisk too. iNSL is actually going for the throat here. And I love that they're doing this. This is something we've never seen. I have never seen a team fake going for the arc and actually try to take all the enemy obelisks and pour it in. And iNSL actually has more power than 93. So if they pull this off, 93 could get crippled. I have never seen this play in my entire time playing Ark of Osiris. I mean, you've seen people go for obelisks, but not like after the first arc has spawned. This is exciting. Can we get some hype in the chat for what's going on here? Blue has come out of nowhere with an attack that I certainly could not have predicted, but it looks like their obelisk is under big pressure here. I don't think they can hold the 55 seconds necessary, and the obelisk falls. Oh, can you imagine if the teleport had targeted correctly? Oh, man. That is not the kind of mistake you can afford in the top 16. Oh, no. 30 seconds at the other obelisk. Oh, man. Unbelievable. 20 seconds till they can pour it in. They're holding on for dear life. 15 seconds. 93P is swarming with everything they have. 10 seconds. And the garrison falls. 93P with a catastrophic upset of the plans of iNSL. It was a great offensive strategy if only it had been executed as cleanly as it was drawn up. What a close, but no cigar situation. Blue is able to capitalize and take a Shrine of Life. Blue is stabilizing their side of the map. But they forfeited an arc for an offensive play that ultimately failed. And that is going to give 93 a very solid lead. It is going to be 6,000, maybe it's actually 5,000 points of lead for 93P. Now, I'm not saying iNSL can't recover. They can. But they're going to have work to do to recover from this situation. They're going to have a lot of work to do to recover from this particular situation. They are doing a really phenomenal job flipping these outposts. I mean, if we take a moment and appreciate, 93P has not had a lot of capture time on their own outposts. So really good offensive play by iNSL on the outposts. If only that offensive play were matched everywhere else on the map, they would be a real terrifying powerhouse. However, 93P has the arc, and they now need to stabilize their building game. They are now taking 3 altars, and they take the Shrine of Life again. So 93P is just looking really good. There's the arc. Where are they going to take it? What will they do with this arc? Immediately score it. That to me says that 93P feels like they are a big overdog, even though they were less voted for, even though they have less power. Also, by the way, worth noting that 93P is gathering. Now, gathering became far less popular in the new version of Ark of Osiris for several reasons. First of all, because your vision is limited, it is harder to know exactly where the resource nodes will be and when they've respawned back in. So teams are typically pulling down in the realm of 1,000 at most, maybe 1,500 points from gathering. Whereas before it used to be 3,000 or 4,000 points worth of goodness, as much as 5,000 or 6,000 points even, depending on the team. So it's Not nearly as popular as it used to be, but interesting to see that 93p is still gathering. Now, we're only 20 minutes into the match, so we're just warming up here, chat. This is just the warm-up. We're not done yet. Now, if I zoom back out and we just look back to the obelisk real quick, it is interesting to see this configuration. Everybody's kind of teleported on the front half of the obelisk. The reason I say that is that, you know, where would I store the Ark if I wanted to just stand around with it? I would probably try to store it by like Syed City, all the way to the right here. You don't really want it close to the obelisk. You don't really want it close to the Shrine of War. You kind of want it like all the way back over here if you could swing it, because you want it as like far away as possible from where the enemy could try to capture it. But next to a city of yours, because you can score the Ark in an allied city. Couple marches working on the obelisk over here. Sentry down for 93p. Where are they putting it? By the Ark. So these guys are already setting up for the next Ark. It makes sense. There's 6 minutes till the next Ark spawns in. I see Pocket Rocket in the chat saying, OL is always exciting, especially with the new skills. I couldn't agree more. I feel that the new skills make Ark of Osiris way more fun to play. And I also think it makes it way more dynamic and exciting in terms of the strategic possibilities. Looks like iNSL is starting to mount on offensive, heading toward the Desert Altar. Also 93p, sitting on 3 altars. They're looking really good. I will point out that although for KVK, it seems that Nevsky primary is popular, it does seem that for Ark, the Joan primary is the better primary for the Nevsky and Joan combo. Hera YSS Garrison. Powerful as ever. Swarm in. You love to see what Garrison's teams are using. And Zenobia, I would not exactly say is back in the meta, but for Anti-Swarm and Ark of Osiris, you can't argue with her efficiency. The only thing that kind of sucks is her march speed with infantry. You can use Zenobia with cavalry, although those troops will not really benefit as much as other troops, but at least they march faster, maybe, toward where you're going. Looking around the map, Desert Altar, Heavy Swarm. iNSL, we saw them march down the map to make this assault. I don't see a garrison captain here, so looks like they'll have to do with whatever they've got. Rally making its way downfield. Henry, man, let me tell you, Henry has continued to be powerful, hasn't he? Quite the strong commander. A lot of longevity. Would have been good to max him about a year ago when he came into the game. Now I feel like I kind of want him. But if I max him, maybe he'll get replaced in the not too distant future with new heroes. So I'm a bit on the fence, personally. If I'll continue to work toward Henry, I probably will. He's got some great auxiliary skills as well for many of the KVK game modes where you can use those skills. Looking around the map. The Desert Altar. In red. Getting counter-swarmed by blue. I've talked about this in many matches where I cast, how you can take the building but not have a captain and then counter swarm it and the other side takes it and then the other side swarms it and the other side swarms it. Pretty wild situation. If we zoom out here at the score, 93p, sitting at 12,900 points. iNSL, sitting at 8,300 points. The points per minute currently in favor of blue, actually. iNSL. What they need to do, however, is get this next arc, and they are not set up to do that. Dust Up has been activated, reducing visual range. There it is. iNSL activating Dust Up. Both teams impacted. 93 has very superior positioning on this arc. Total Vision activated for both teams now. Big brawl about to go down. Here it is. We can zoom out a little bit, get a sense of the sad faces. Heaven's Grace doing huge work for the healing. You know, the stream is very delayed, but I am watching the chat, and it is really funny to see the chat commenting now on that misclick from earlier. Oh, what a yikes. Chat saying 100%. I bet that voice chat was nuts. True. True. I would not want to be responsible for that misclick. Oh, boy. I mean, look. Happens to the best of us. But it does not make your situation better, that's for sure. Morale down, chat says. Oh, no. Oh, the pain. Also, 93, cleaning up the middle here. It does look like you can see from dot mode that some folks are trying to break off to take the carrier from iNSL, but I don't think that's going to work. You know, look, what are we watching in this matchup? We're watching Kingdom 93 do what Kingdom 93 does. They're more organized than you probably are. And I mean that respectfully. You need to understand who you're up against. And 93 is really organized. I would love to maybe talk to their king at some point and find out if, like, they're a professional project manager. Because I have a sense that that's probably the case. Because, let me tell you, 93 seems to be very organized in all the things that they do. And that is uncommon. Because, look, hey, this is a mobile game. It's also on PC. But typically, in a mobile game, you will see a lot of teams that are less coordinated. And that is why I think 93 really rises up, because they are above average for coordination. I'm not trying to overly sing their praises. I am simply pointing out the pattern of how they perform time and time again. And players underestimated them in the vote. 40% of people supported 93, 60% of people supported iNSL. And it's looking like the 40% of people are going to win a healthy amount of Oryx from this matchup. Arc ambush in progress. iNSL looking to get downfield, although not yet getting enough position on the carrier. iNSL looking to dive the carrier. Diving is a very difficult prospect in Rise of Kingdoms. Basically, everybody's getting free hits on them, which is not good. They might take out this carrier, but I don't know what happens next. So they're on the carrier. I mean, I guess if enough iNSL makes their way downfield, it could work, but I just don't see that right now. They do have enough presence here to be disruptive, but not enough presence to offset the short reset time. I mean, look at this short distance. iNSL has to do two things now. The first thing they have to do is pick up the Ark and clean up this field. The second thing they have to do is take the garrison. And I just don't think they have enough troops to do both of these things. I think if I were iNSL, I would try to focus on cleaning the field rather than cleaning the garrison. Because if you can't clean the field, it doesn't matter if you clean the garrison. So now they're trying to clean the garrison, and like, it doesn't matter because they lost the field. If they had the field, at least they could run the Ark somewhere different. Do you see what I'm saying? At least if they cleaned up this field, they could try to run the Ark back this way. Now, they're going to take the garrison, but it doesn't matter because they lost the Ark. So here comes one player, Insight, and I think they're aptly named because they see they have to take this carrier down. This is a great play by Insight going for this carrier. I love that they're doing this. And I do feel like this swarm on the Shrine of War is a bit of a miss because, okay, they take it. Who cares? Like they don't have the Ark. The Ark is going to the cities. The Ark is on the verge of being scored. And now the Ark is on top of the cities. You see, if they had taken out this Ark carrier and instead of swarming this garrison, marched the Ark even just back over here, they would have options. But now they have no options, really. They just don't have options. I think iNSL is in some big trouble here. If I were 93, I would consider just immediately capping this Ark. I think they don't have to, though. The Ark carrier is running this thing away. It's what they need to be doing. Is it sufficient? I would say probably not. Ark is down. Exciting Ark of Osiris gameplay going on here. If you're enjoying the stream, do me the honor of throwing a like on the stream and consider subscribing. Your support helps us determine which matches to cast. So thank you for dropping likes onto the streams. Here comes the Ark. Chilling in the cities. Little bit low health, but hey, they're chilling. Where are they going? Just around the cities, I suppose. Plenty of options for how to score this thing. Oh boy. This situation went from bad to worse for iNSL. Sky Altar under pressure. Don't mind me this morning taking some occasional sips of green tea. Need that caffeination to wake me up bright and early. I don't know what time it is for you, but for me, it's pretty early in the morning. I hope that wherever you're at in the world, you're having a great day or your day's off to a great start. iNSL captures the altar. No captain yet, though, so it's going to be difficult to hold. XY, not exactly the best captain. XY falls, hidden sentry drops. Where's the sentry? All the way over here. Another hidden sentry drops. Where's it go? All the way over here. Teams looking for some visual advantages to see what's going on. Carrier is just chilling by the obelisk. We'll look around the map. Rally is hitting Shrine of Life, but Shrine of Life looks healthy. Attack incoming on the Desert Altar. I think this one will double click on. Let's get a zoom into this. Rally is thwarted. Swarming presence is still here. Zoom out a little bit here. Looks like they'll probably be able to defend this. Garrison is successful in its defense. And Shrine of War, under pressure. Not really enough punch from the rally, but maybe these marches coming downfield will be able to get the job done. Swarm incoming. Not really enough marches, though, it looks like, to deliver the kind of pressure necessary to flip this garrison. And 93 is just chilling with this arc. You know, the thing about this stage of the finals and the progression through League is that, you know, you only have to win by 1 point. So it makes sense they're kind of doing what they feel will give them the best chance of just having more points than the enemy, rather than scoring as many points as possible. Remember, in earlier stages of the competition, it was critical to score as many points as you possibly could. Not the case here. Not the case now. Rally in. Henry with Zhuge Liang doing work. Swarm in on the rally. Definitely looks like iNSL has enough there to hold this very easily. Around the map, everything is blinking. Shrine of War is under attack. Sky Altar's under attack. Rally and Swarm. Ooh, this is kind of exciting. This could fall. Good pressure from 93p. Chat asked the question, isn't the rewards in each realm the same in terms of betting? No. Depends on what kind of betting we're talking about. If we're talking about picking the team that wins the whole thing, their league, then yes, okay, that's the same. But if we're talking about Oryx, the Oryx are specific to each individual match. So yes, the rewards are the same for picking the team that will win their division. But the reward is not the same for Oryx. It all depends on who votes for which teams with their Oryx and how many Oryx have been bet. That determines how much you'll get. Okay, looking around. Sky Altar, big attack. No captain present. Uh-oh. This looks dangerous. Not promising. Garrison flips over. Blue needs to figure out how to attack this now. On the other side of the map, Sky Altar, big pressure. Not a lot of 93p left to swarm here, but the garrison is low enough that it may just get the job done anyways. '93 dropping a hidden sentry. Also, the Ark has been captured. We're looking at 6 minutes and 45 seconds until the Ark spawns in. It will probably be the last Ark of the matchup. There are still some swarmers here, but I don't think they've got enough punch to flip this thing. It's close, though. Like, it's close enough that we gotta see if they actually pull this off. That garrison's awfully low. Like, somebody's gotta switch out or it's gonna drop. And they might flip this thing, actually. Literally anybody could get in and they could save it. Someone gets in. Oh, man. Someone else gets in. This garrison is so close. It's on the brink of disaster. Truly. Just chilling on the brink of disaster. Captain is fallen. It's an XY captain. Wow. I mean, they're holding on. They're holding on. Or are they? Everybody's low health. Somebody's got to get in the garrison. Oh, man. This attack. Somebody got in. Someone got in. Uh-oh. Here comes the rally. That's going to be a big yikes. Rally's going to clean this thing up in a real spectacular fashion. Here comes the damage. One skill cycle. Another skill cycle. And that thing is going to pop. Captain drops. Captain drops. And that falls. That was a fun little bout. Battling over that altar. And once again, 93 flexing 4 altars. Dang. That is a serious flex. 4 altars plus they take temple. Whew. I mean, that is impressive. Now they're setting up for the Ark. 93p attacking from behind and setting up at the Ark. Brutal. Truly brutal. '93 moving into position. A lot of marches coming in for this. iNSL also making their way to mid. Is it enough, though, chat? Is this enough? I'm not sure. But they're on their way. They're going to try to make the difference here. They're going to try to go for this Ark. It's been a long time since we've seen abilities used that cost points. So we can expect that there will be a lot of abilities thrown down. I don't know if iNSL has any other tricks up their sleeve like they did at the start of the match, but I will say this. Now's the time. Now is the time. If there were ever a moment, this is when they need to use it. If they get this arc, it's even still not enough to close the gap in points. They need to immediately score this arc and then hope they can maybe score the next one too. It's a bleak situation for iNSL here. They have to make a play, and it's got to be a pretty big play. Positioning for the mid fight, I still feel like 93 has more punch. "50 seconds till arc spawn. "30 seconds till arc spawn. Map is otherwise relatively even. Heaven's Grace activated and the fight is in. Total Vision activated. Love to see it. We'll zoom in a little bit to this brawl, although I feel like it's helpful to be kind of zoomed out to see the sad faces. The arc appears, Dust Up is activated. Looks like iNSL is actually doing very well in this fight. I thought that 93 had the superior force, perhaps, but I can't really tell who's winning. But the sad faces tell the story, don't they? It's a lot of blue sad faces. Yeah, you know, it was unclear to me, but then we zoom out and you see these blue dots are really dwindling. Look at all these sad faces going back blue. I think in just a moment, this is going to flip to be a red arc, 93, to score the final arc. But we'll see. 12 minutes left in the match. Even just stalling this arc is a huge win for 93. And at this point, 93 has cleaned everybody up. There it is. They're cruising. May this be a reminder to never underestimate 93. They are on their way out with the arc. Now remember, to have gotten to this point, every team needs to be very strong. So iNSL is, in their own right, a very strong team. But there can emerge only one victor. And those mid-brawls reflect the overall strength of your team. In many ways, it is a reflection of your organization power, but also your team's punching power. And if you don't have the punch to win those mid-brawls, your team has an uphill battle to win the match, for sure. Hidden Sentry deployed. 11 minutes remaining in the match. Looks like an ambush is being organized. iNSL coming downfield, but 93 ready to handle it. Arc is cruising. Carrier is protected. Rally's on its way downfield. Looks like they're putting pressure on the Desert Altar. Shrine of War also getting some pressure. And also Sky Altar. Huge attack. Can you imagine if all these people were taking the Arc instead of taking this altar? I feel like this altar is so meaningless right now. Maybe it's a stepping stone on their way to getting to this Arc, but it's too little too late, I feel. I don't think they can get there on time. All those bodies hitting the carrier. I mean, look. You either win or you lose. And there's no do-overs in a single elimination. So even though it's unlikely they could take the carrier and score the Arc, that's what I would try to do. Right? I mean, I don't know. Try to play to the 1% chance to win. That said, as I was describing earlier, even taking this Arc is not going to be enough. But if you are 93, you just cap this Arc immediately. It's like a 8.5-8-minute respawn time for the next Arc anyways. So this carrier just needs to go into literally any city. This is actually not that it matters, a mistake that they're just running around with the Arc instead of scoring it. I wonder if they just don't realize that you can score it in a city. But assuredly, they're in voice talking about it. So I really don't know why they aren't just scoring the Arc. Oh, wow. They're alive with like literally one troop. Okay, 2 troops. I don't know what they're doing. There's no need to stall the match. There's no need to run around. Maybe they're just excited to be holding the Arc. I'm genuinely not sure what this is. Yep, okay. That carrier has fallen. Maybe the next person will actually pick up the Arc and score it. There is literally no reason to hold this Arc. And they score the Arc. And it's 8 minutes and 15 seconds for the next Arc to spawn. Okay. All right. Yeah. Now they score the Arc. This gives an 11,000 point lead for 93. It is an insurmountable advantage in the 7 minutes and 25 seconds remaining. So for the next 7 minutes, we get to enjoy just kind of what the teams are up to. Having some fun. Smash your marches here or there. Try to take a building or two. Battle in the field. Shrine falls. Obelisk under pressure? No, not really. Even if they take the obelisk here, it kind of doesn't matter. I feel like an obelisk grab right now would be the most fun thing that could happen to this game. But doesn't look like that's going to happen. iNSL, 3 altars for now. Hidden sentry deployed. Left side of the map. Sky altar getting a little bit swarmed. Total vision activated. Let's see how this hold goes. Sky altar holding on by a thread. Good reinforcement in the nick of time. Sky Altar, once again, hanging by a thread. But iNSL has repeatedly shown that they can save the garrison in this situation. There it is again. The reinforcements arriving just in time. Now, the captain did pop, so there's not the same defensive capability. The penalty of not having filled the garrison sooner is real. And the XY garrison is not instilling confidence in their ability to continue this hold. $93p sitting on 3 altars again. A brutal structure game from 93. A brutal arc game coming from 93. The points per minute, even. But that doesn't matter really at this stage. If we look at the overall provisions and points to this moment, 10,500 points worth of arcs for the Trash Pandas, a slightly advantaged occupation score, and a slightly disadvantaged provision score. So the difference between these two teams is the Trash Pandas scored all the arcs. The rest is a bit of a wash between occupation and provisions. But the arc score of 10,500 points is a huge gap. Once again, 93p with the big flex, taking all 4 of the altars. That is a heck of a flex. We can see it is interesting that both teams have provisioned. I would say that it hasn't really made a difference in this particular matchup. Good hold by 93 on this particular garrison. Hera YSS. Whew. You get some crit leadership gear with Iconics, and that is scary. Dust Up activated. Hidden Sentry deployed. 1:25 left in the match. If you've enjoyed today's live stream, throw a like on the stream. Consider subscribing for more Ark of Osiris League gameplay. I'll be back casting at 15 UTC, and there'll be 4 matches going simultaneously. So if you want to watch more Ark of Osiris League gameplay, subscribe so you don't miss it. You can always check out the VODs, which are posted immediately after the streams as well. So if there's any matchup you missed, I would encourage you to check it out. Other streamers include Dragothian, Plato Gaming, and a silent stream where the action is being spectated, but no one is commentating. I've been enjoying casting with you all today. I'm Chiscool Gaming. My channel is linked in the description as well. I make guides designed to help you get value and smash your enemies in Rise of Kingdoms. The Desert Altar, looking quite secure at this point. The matchup, quite secure at this point. Although iNSL did slightly close the gap on points, it is not nearly enough to offset the full complement of arcs that went to 93p. 93p will advance, and we can get a quick peek at perhaps all the teams that are advancing. Let's get a look here. The final score, 27,900 to 36,297. A strong win. A strong win for 93p. Some people are going to be really happy with all the Oryx they'll be pulling down. Now, let me just see if we can get a quick look at the summary of scores from other matches. Are they available? I'm just going to get a quick look at the schedule. Can we see who the winners are? Yes, we can. Let me jump back in. So 1V won their matchup against 93L. They've got a 40,000 point final score. Also up top, 1718 beat 16OT with a 12,000 point victory. So they'll be fighting 1V, and I mean, look, your former grand champions 1V, you anticipate they're going to win. In this part of the bracket, 93P has advanced, and we need to see the outcome of E301 versus 93T. So we'll see what that looks like. In the realm of Anubis, let's see here. What have we got? It looks like Sin beat DQ39. And also, I will be casting in less than an hour from now, Wib versus 60MX. That should be very exciting. So if you haven't already, subscribe. We'll be back in less than an hour for more Ark of Osiris. And until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom. I'll see y'all real soon.